Good morning to everybody coming in. Good morning.
By far the most sweeping Second Amendment ruling in the country's history, a case that made it much harder for environmental protection and other protections to happen.
Oh, Lord. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to talk a little bit about Cornell West and then we out. I think. Y'all always take me down a rabbit hole. See, I don't know how I do this. Oh, there it is. I know what to do now. I know what to do now. Yes. Now I got all my comments scrolling nice and big and bright. I know what to do now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Samantha. Good morning, warm, moist muffin Kimmy. Good morning. Apple user. Yes. I hate to call him a fool, but he's been having foolish tendencies for years now. And I'm sick of him. At this point, I'm done with him. Whenever I would see him somewhere, I would stop to listen because he is educated and he has been advocating for the black community. But, no. I'm feeling good. How are you? Kim, blessed hands. Thank you, Muscles, for the gift. He has a God complex. He certainly has a huge ego. And he's had that for years, right? When I did the video yesterday on Cornell West running for president, I had some things to say. And I didn't go too deep in the first video. I didn't go too deep. I said it was a hell no for me, right? And then I went into talking about this current situation, him running for president. I didn't go into why I feel this way as far as why I had the attitude. Because some people picked up on the attitude. I had a real attitude. Thank you. I had a real attitude because I know what this is. Good morning, Pamela. I know what this is. He knows he's not going to win. He knows black men respect him in the community. He knows black men are yearning for something more than Democrat ideals, the party. He knows this. And whoever is paying him knows this. And so I know he's full of shit and he's selling out the black community by doing this. I know that. But black men, in a desperation to move away from the Democratic Party, in desperation to support a fellow black man, they'll vote for him. And what is that going to do? It's going to split the ticket. We ain't got time for these games. We don't have time for these games. This isn't the year 2000 where we can do protest votes and we can play games. This is not that time. People's lives are at stake. Their lives are at stake. Rights are at stake. Our LGBTQIA brothers and sisters, they are this close to being legally snuffed out with all of these laws. We don't have time for the games of Dr. Cornell West, and he knows it. That's why I had such an attitude in reporting on that nonsense. One of my mutuals was like, "Oh, Tabitha, I guess she could feel it, baby," and I had to, I had a straight up attitude when I saw Dr. Cornell West running for president announcement. The fuck is this, Dr. Cornell West? You selling out your own people, because what's at stake is our right to vote. And if they succeed in stuffing out and pushing LGBTQIA people back in the closet, what you gonna think they're gonna do for us? They banning immigrants from states. You can't be here. You can go anywhere else, but you can't be here. You think it's just gonna stop in Florida? What they doing to immigrants, you don't think they will take it a step further and do it to us? Dr. Cornell West, no, we ain't got time for your buffoonery. We ain't got time for your games. You are not going to win, but you will pull off votes from Joe Biden. And we just don't have time for this nonsense. We don't have time for nonsense that's going to question this man getting the nomination. We don't have time for recounts and any inclination of there being some type of voter fraud. We just went through years of this. We still dealing with claims of voter fraud. We don't have time for this shit. And he knows it. But somebody put down in my comments of my first video that I did, okay, exactly, Scotty. I ain't got time. If I see you, I'm blocking you. I'm blocking you. I ain't got time. I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to debate. I don't ever debate. Down in my comment, no, I ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for debates. You want to debate what I am saying? You want to say something that counters what I'm saying? Go say it on your own page. I ain't got time for your shit over here. So down in the comments of the video that I did, somebody talked about how Dr. Cornell West had been salty. Hey, Voodoo Bay. Voodoo Bay say period. We ain't got time for that. I'm not here to debate. This is not really a democracy over here. What I say go. So if you want to do the other side, go on and do that somewhere else. I ain't got time for it over here. Immigration Pro, you in here? I know you always in here, off in the cut. Always off in here. She always got my back, off in the cut. I don't know if she in here, but I ain't got time for that. And if I see you, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna block you. Somebody say, get somebody else to do it. Okay, so down in the comments of the first video that I did about Cornell West on yesterday, somebody put how he had changed since the Obama presidency. And so I came back with a follow-up video, and I was in agreement because I kind of like know the history. It's been a minute, so y'all could correct if I get anything wrong. We're going to go through what the saltiness is about with Dr. Cornell West and why a lot of the black community ain't feeling Dr. Cornell West. And in that second video that I did, you will see plenty of comments mentioning Tavis Smiley. Thank you, Manimal Spirit. Tavis Smiley. Y'all remember Tavis Smiley? Anybody in the comments remember Tavis Smiley? Thank y'all for the gifts. Robin remembers okay, a lot of people remember Tavis Smiley. Okay, let's talk about this. So when President Obama first ran for the presidency, I don't know what year he announced, 2014, 2012. I wasn't even deep into politics during Obama's first term. I got into politics in his second term because that's when it really got nasty in Congress. And I was like, that's when the second term is when I got 2007. Somebody said he announced it in 2007. Okay, thank you. So when he first announced he was running for the president, Dr. Cornell West had issues then. He didn't want President Obama to run for president. Why? I don't know. But I remember comments he made that he wasn't ready or, some crazy stuff. I remember. PBS 5, we getting now. Byron Allen, I don't know about Byron Allen. We talking about, and the only reason why we talking about this is because Dr. Cornell West has decided that he's going to run for president. So I want y'all to know who the man is and the issues that I have with him since he's made this announcement, okay? And so not much was happening since then. Obama won. I guess he didn't think President Obama was going to win. President Obama won. And Dr. Cornell West had his panties in a bunch since that time. And it all stems from my opinion. There's no fact about this. I haven't read anything about this. It is my opinion that Dr. Cornell West was planning to be a part of President Obama's advisors, be in the inner sanctum, because I ain't feeling Dr. Cornell West, but the man is smart. He is intelligent. He understands black issues. He's been an advocate for the black community for as long as I could think back. Okay? Is he tenured? I don't know. He's a professor, I think, at Harvard, Yale. He's up here now, okay? And I'm not taking his intellect and what he has done, and he has worked with previous administrations and, being the voice for black people and all of that stuff. I ain't taking none of that away from him. But for some reason, he thought he was going, this is my opinion, he thought he was going to be a part of Obama's advisory because, presidents have advisors. And would Dr. Cornell West have been a good advisor to Barack Obama when it comes to black relations and issues in the black community? Absolutely. But that was his choice. And he didn't choose. He didn't choose Dr. Cornell West. Right? Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley also was salty with President Obama. Why? Because he didn't get invited to, I remember him being salty about not getting invited to the inauguration. And also, he wanted, after President Obama won the presidency, he wanted President Obama to go on his show. Remember, Tavis Smiley had a show on PBS. Forget what it was called, but very popular show on PBS. And he had a regular segment on the Tom Joyner morning show. Y'all remember Tom Joyner? Baby, Tom Joyner got me up in the morning. I listened to Tom Joyner from the time the alarm went off until I got to work. He had a regular segment on the Tom Joyner morning show, and I believe it was a daily segment. I ain't taking nothing away from Tavis Smiley. Intelligent and tuned into black issues. He was an advocate for the black community. He was the voice that we needed. Was Tavis Smiley meeting with top political people? Absolutely. But Obama didn't want to come on to your show, bruh. He didn't want to come on to your show. He didn't want militant black people around him. And I understand why. Would they have been beneficial to him? Absolutely. But I understand why he didn't want that. And that was his choice. So all throughout President Obama's I think the entire 8 years, Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornell West trash talk President Obama. And I truth be told, I had serious issues with some of the stuff that President Obama was doing. I understood where they were coming from. But their trash talk was laced with bitchness. That's what the issue was. Every opportunity Tavis Smiley had on his show, he was talking trash like a scorned lover about President Obama. Now, he wanted President Obama to come on the show. President Obama said, I'm not coming on the show. I can't come on the show, but I'm going to send Michelle. We love Michelle. Michelle's intelligent. She can speak for her husband. She knows the politics. And whatever issues you have, she can take those issues back to her husband. She is the ultimate of advocates for the President of the United States. The wife, right? He gonna listen to the wife before anybody else. He didn't want Michelle. He turned that down. It's either you or nothing. And if it's going to be nothing, then I'm going to trash talk you with the side of bitchness every opportunity that I get. And that's exactly what he did. Dr. Cornell West did the same exact thing. Whenever I saw Dr. Cornell West doing a segment on MSNBC, well, it was CNN at the time. I was watching CNN. He always had to slide in some messy, petty comment about President Obama. And I'm not talking about just the policies. Let me read some of the headlines, because I did find some of the headlines after he would be on the show. Somebody would do an article. Let me read some of the headlines. Let me read some. Cornell West calls Obama global George Zimmerman. Y'all know who George Zimmerman is, right? George Zimmerman is the murderer of Trayvon Martin. George Zimmerman is the murderer of Trayvon Martin. Are y'all hearing me? And Dr. Cornell West said Obama is the global George Zimmerman. Hey, Unc. That's one comment. What else did he say? Cornell West says Obama is a Rockefeller Republican in blackface. These are the type of comments, right? These are the type of comments. Not getting on these programs and stating what your issue is, and then coming behind it and saying, this is what we can do to fix it. Obama, reach out to me. I'm just trying to, to do right by my people. No, these are the type of comments that he was making in a public forum. A black man tearing down another black man on white mass media. Let's see, I think I got another one here. Dr. Cornell West calls Obama a black puppet. And the reason why he called President Obama a black puppet is because Dr. Cornell West had issues with President Obama specifically doing things for the black community. I had an issue with that. I believe there was so much more that President Obama could have done specifically for the black community, and he didn't do it. But I, as an intelligent adult, recognized that President Obama is not just the president of black people. He's the president of all people. All people. And unfortunately, the politics of it all was not going to let Obama just do anything for black people. What did Mitch McConnell say? Mitch McConnell blocked almost everything that President Obama tried to do. Those are just some of the things. And that's a 5-minute search. So y'all can continue on if you want to go further into seeing some of the things that he said. I'm sure there's video of it over on YouTube. You can find some of the things that he said. But this is the vitriol. This is the vitriol from Dr. Cornell West to President Obama. It had gotten so bad. Do you guys know Michael Eric Dyson? Love Michael Eric Dyson. He used to be on MSNBC all the time. He's another Harvard, Yale, Ivy League professor. I love Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Love him. Orator. Oh, love the man. I want to see more of him. I want him to have a show. But he used to be a regular commentator on MSNBC. Somebody calls him the political poet. That's the perfect name for Michael Eric Dyson. Michael Eric Dyson used to criticize President Obama, but he did it in such a way that wasn't vitriolic. It wasn't hateful. It wasn't bitchness, right? Michael Eric Dyson had written an article calling out Dr. Cornell West. Hey, what is this? Y'all, I got a new phone and everything is like, it's like everything pulled over, but it's still like I'm starting over with these apps. Let me find this article. You can go into my link tree and read the article. Okay? Go into my link tree and read the article. It will give you a lot of the nastiness that Dr. Cornell West was putting out there. And he titled the article, The Ghost of Cornell West, because Dr. Cornell West was no more the Dr. Cornell West that we knew. Hold on, let me find the article. Let me focus for a second. So y'all can see it. But I got the link all queued up in my link tree. You just go and you scroll down the links and look for the link that says The Ghost of Cornell West. And this is what the article looks like. Okay? And in this article, he points out how nasty Dr. Cornell West has been. Let me read a little bit of it for you. I'm going to read a little bit of it. Nor hell of fury like a woman scorned is the best known line from William Congreve's The Mourning Bride. But I'm concerned with the phrase preceding it, which captures wrath in more universal terms. Heaven has no rage like love to hatred turned. Even an angry Almighty can't compete with mortals whose love turns to hate. Cornell West's rage against President Barack Obama evokes that kind of venom. It was horrible. And black people were lighting Dr. Cornell West's ass up because of the way he was doing it. It wasn't constructive criticism. It's like he made a pass at Obama and Obama rebuked it and his feelings got hurt. Anywho, let me move on. He has accused Obama of political minstrelsy. Michael Eric Dyson is an orator, and he comes up with words I've never heard of. Okay? Minstrelsy. Calling him Rockefeller Republican in blackface, taunted him as a brown-faced Clinton, and derided him as a neoliberal opportunist. In 2011, West and I were both speakers at a black newspaper conference in Chicago. During a private conversation, West asked how I escaped being dubbed an Obama hater when I was just as critical of the president as he was. Remember I said Michael Eric Dyson's had issues too. But it's all in how you do it. I shared my 3-part formula for discussing Obama before black audiences. Start with love for the man and pride in his epic achievement. Focus on the unprecedented acrimony he faces as the nation's first black executive, and target his missteps and failures. No matter how vehemently I disagree with Obama, I respect him as a man wrestling with an incredibly difficult opportunity to shape history. Dr. Cornell West said, well, I guess that's the difference. Between me and you, I don't respect the brother at all. But read the article. Michael Eric Dyson is a political genius, black issue genius. He knows how to present the issues, keep it professional, and not show bitchness. Okay, so you can get to that in my link tree, but that's the issue with Dr. Cornell West. And so what Dr. Cornell West did, he linked up with Tavis Smiley. The two haters, the two chief haters, they linked up together. And they were going to do this tour, the poverty tour maybe is what it was called. It was a tour to go around the country and to, you would do these speaking engagements, but these speaking engagements, if I remember correctly, political people, for wherever they were also going to be a part of this public engagement meeting, as well as public people could come in and be a part of it. It's a conversation. Poverty in the black community. Discuss the issues. Discuss ways to fix these issues. Those types of things. That's what the tour was supposed to be about. But when two people share the same hate and vitriol for the big man in charge, what y'all think was going to happen? The two of them got together, and every last one of their stops turned into an Obama bitch session. That's what ended up happening. They went on a national tour to bitch about Obama. Markla says it was awful because, of course, media is going to be there. You want to talk about the issues. You want the issues to be public. I believe people had video cameras back then, even though it wasn't that long ago. I believe we had smartphones and video cameras and all of that stuff when they did this tour. So you might find some video clips of that tour over on YouTube, and you might be able to see it. But the media reported on this. Meanwhile, Tavis has his regular segment on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and he has his PBS show, and he's using his PBS show to trash talk Obama, and he's trash talking Obama on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Tom Joyner was #1 in radio for years. Millions upon millions of listeners tuned in to Tom Joyner. And Tavis Smiley would take that opportunity to trash talk President Obama. I don't know how many times he did it before Tom Joyner said, we're not doing this no more. We're not doing this. No, we could discuss the issues like professionals, but we ain't doing no bitchness on my show about President Obama. That segment was cut. That segment was cut. Tom Joyner was not having it. Sybil was the brain on the show. And so Sybil would be in debate with Tavis over his bitchness. I remember it. I can't tell you what each conversation was. Darlena says, go to YouTube, type in Tavis and Cornell. It's Tavis, Tavis. Some people call him Travis. It's Tavis. You can find some of the stuff over there. But Tom Joyner cut Tavis Smiley's segment. He went on, he still had his show, and and then Tavis Smiley lost his show because karma came back for Tavis Smiley. They even, when they were doing that tour, Tavis Smiley and Cornell West, they got invited on to like different shows on MSNBC. They got invited to Bill O'Reilly's show on Fox News. They got invited to Bill O'Reilly's show on Fox News. Bill O'Reilly wanted to talk to Tavis Smiley and Dr. Cornell West about the poverty issues in the black community. But Bill O'Reilly was representing white supremacy. So there was going to be a heated discussion. It was going to be a debate and all of that stuff. That turned into the three of them talking trash about President Obama. Tavis Smiley, a black man, an advocate for the black community, going around the country speaking on black issues. Dr. Cornell West, an advocate for the black community, a black man, speaking on black issues. They came together with a racist white supremacist to trash talk another black man. Do you know how effed up that is? Speak the truth. I remember when Tom Joyner cut the show off, and Sybil was like, what? Yeah. Baby, yes. Me, yes. It's not me. They're using me to get y'all to go over and have a conversation about selling something, child. It ain't me. I don't have Telegram. Markla says that part. My daddy told me about when they were. Yes, they were on Bill O'Reilly, baby. They were on Bill O'Reilly. Fox News was racist then as they are racist now. I can understand the two of them going on Fox News to discuss the poverty issues in the black community and to offer suggestions on how we can uplift black people out of poverty. But Bill O'Reilly didn't really care about that. Bill O'Reilly's audience didn't care about that, right? Bill O'Reilly came to debate that black people and have poverty issues, and we should be treated as humans, and we need to implement programs and all of that stuff. Yeah, he wasn't really there for that, right? He was there to continue the racism and the white supremacy. But in that, all three of them ended up having this bitch session about President Obama. Two black men coming together with a known racist white supremacist to talk shit about the president of the United States, who is a black man. And I think it was at that point we kind of like saw Dr. Cornell West fade. Tavis Smiley went back to his PBS show, but he eventually lost his PBS show because karma came back around, and the Me Too movement was huge. And during that Me Too movement, several women came out and accused Tavis Smiley of actually harassing them. He was in the fight for his life, baby. Fight for his life. He lost his show. He lost his credibility. He then went by the wayside. We haven't heard from Tavis Smiley or Cornell West. And then all of a sudden, up pops Cornell West running for president. Now, I've seen him on different segments on news stations and stuff like that. But Dr. Cornell West was no longer riding high. He was no longer sought out to speak on black issues the way he was before all of this. So, Dr. Cornell West, who wrote the check? You haven't been up here in years, and you think you can come out and run for president and be taken seriously? You know you won't win. Somebody says, I remember that damn tour. Yes. Now, Dr. Cornell West, who wrote the check? I couldn't even take you seriously in your announcement. Who wrote the check, Dr. Cornell West? So in my video, that second video I did, I said when people show you who they are, believe them. This is who Dr. Cornell West showed us he was. And we ain't forgot. You could go down into the comments on my first video. We remember Dr. Cornell West. We remember the ass that you were. We have not forgotten. We haven't forgotten. Felicia, go cheerlead somewhere else. Go cheerlead somewhere else. Even the party he's aligned with is super questionable. What is it? The child. Hold on. If you haven't seen it, I'll show it to you. The People's Party. The People's Party was started by Bernie Sanders. Child, I could... Hold on. Hold on, and I'll play it so y'all can see it. Child.
In these bleak times, I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party. I enter into quest for truth. I enter into quest for justice. And the presidency is just one vehicle to pursue that truth and justice, what I've been trying to do all of my life. I come from a tradition where I care about you. I care about the quality of your life. I care about whether you have access to a job with a living wage, decent housing, women having control over their bodies, health care for all, de-escalating the destruction of the planet, the destruction of American democracy. Democracy creates disruption. It creates an eruption. It creates an interruption. Why? From below, the energies of everyday people is manifest. And I know there are precious people in your life who you care for. That's why it's important for you to be involved, important for you to participate. We're not talking about hating anybody. We're talking about loving. We're talking about affirming. We're talking about empowering those who have been pushed to the margins. Because neither political party wants to tell the truth about Wall Street, about Ukraine, about the Pentagon, about big tech. Neo-fascists like Brother Trump or milquetoast neoliberals like Brother Biden. Wow, I'm so happy to make a world-shaking decision. You know what I mean? Well, I know gangsters when I see them. And gangster's not a subjective expression, it's an objective condition. Do we have what it takes? We shall see. But some of us are going to go down fighting, go down swinging with style and a smile, accenting the best in you and trying to tease out the best in me. Let's do it together.
Baby, when I saw this yesterday, I had a straight attitude. I had a straight attitude. When I did that video yesterday, I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for the people to bring out my groceries. And I couldn't wait until I got home. I had to do my video. And y'all crazy down in these comments. I love y'all. Somebody mentioned, wasn't Dr. Cornell West a supporter of Jill Stein? Yes. Yes, he is part of the reason why all of those votes went over to Jill Stein. He was stomping for Jill Stein. And then, when the tyrant Donald Trump got into office, did he go on a tour and talk about how Donald Trump was talking about black people? Did he go on a tour then? I didn't see Dr. Cornell West on the tour trash talking Donald Trump and what he was turning this country into, and how he was using white supremacists and racism to attack the black community. I didn't see Dr. Cornell West standing up for those black women in Congress who Donald Trump was attacking. I didn't see Dr. Cornell West come out and speak up for April Ryan and Abby Phillips when Donald Trump attacked those two female journalists for doing their job. I didn't see Dr. Cornell West come out and speak up for black people. When he said, when he made that comment about shithole countries, where was Dr. Cornell West speaking up for black people in the diaspora? He was quiet while Trump ran amok and stirred up racists in this country. Nina Turner, a lot of people love Nina Turner. I don't. I don't want nothing to do with Nina Turner. Nope, for the same reasons. She speaks with vitriol and hate towards Democrats. And they all are supporters. The Young Turks, Nina Turner, they all are supporters of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders don't speak like that when he's going at Democrats. Simone Sanders she worked for the Bernie Sanders campaign. She don't speak that way. AOC, she don't speak that way. Remember when Nina Turner and Killer Mike was on some type of panel? Ooh, I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. All on Bill Maher's, exactly. He was also on Bill Maher's show, talking trash. Bill Maher, another racist white supremacist. I'm glad you love Nina Turner. I don't. I don't. I don't. Do I understand the issues? I support the issues that they talk about. I'm for those same very issues. I'm for it. Them as representatives, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. They talk shit about Democrats, but when it's time to stand up for a person, a black person, they're silent. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. You're silent. So it's okay for white supremacists, Democrats, all of them. They can attack Republicans. They can attack black people and you ain't got nothing to say about it. Okay. Okay. There's a reason why she lost that election. Democrats wasn't going to back her because of how she's trash talk Democrats. There's not enough independents or the People Party. There's not enough people for you to galvanize and try to win a race, a political race. But that's Dr. Cornell West. So when you get down in the comments of those two videos and you see people talking about Cornell West and they say, and Tavis Smiley too, this is what they're talking about. I'm not the only black person. I'm telling you, the whole 80% of the black community was done with Dr. Cornell West and Tavis Smiley. And that is why. That is the history. That is the history. I don't want you talking about, I don't want you, Miss P says I'm part of that 80%. So am I. And I know. I mean, he looked in the whole campaign ad. He looked like a shyster. He's saying all the right things about the economy, about women's rights, about healthcare on the website. He's saying a lot of the right things. Will it get done? No, Bernie Sanders couldn't get it done. And Bernie Sanders was beloved. He couldn't get it done. So Dr. Cornell West, all of this is a farce to me. This is a game. To me, you are playing games with people's lives because I know you are not going to win. You are not going to win. I know you know that. You are playing with people's lives. You are playing with people's rights. And for what? I know it's not just about your ego. For you to do this, I know there has to be a check involved. The whole campaign ad was buffoonery to me, Kimberly. The fixing up the suit when he first came on, the porno music in the background. You're focused on what you're hearing, which is the music, and the aesthetic, which is this black man who white America is not going to support for the most part, they're not. They ain't hearing the message. They ain't heard him when he said he, Medicare for all and women's rights and, our climate and all that. And he knows this. He knows this. He knows all of these different factors. He knows this. Dr. Cornell West knows this. He knows the politics. He knows how America is. He knows the racism behind the way people think. He knows this. So what is the reason? I think there's a check involved. So I asked the question, who paid you? Was it the Mercers, the Southern Baptist, the Heritage Foundation, the Koch network, the dark money? Who paid you? Because we all know that Steve Bannon said they will be doing things to get the black male vote. And being that Dr. Cornell West is respected by black men, he pops up out of nowhere and he's running for president. How do you not connect all these dots? How do you not connect these? I'm connecting these dots. Who wrote the check? Who wrote the check? Who wrote? I know he won't become president. He knows he won't become president. He knows he won't become president. But there's a method to the madness. They're picking off the black male vote. Dr. Cornell West is a tool for white supremacy. He knows black men are looking for something different. Killer Mike is a tool for white supremacy. Charlemagne the God, a tool for white supremacy. Who's paying these people? I was disappointed, and then I got a straight attitude because I immediately knew. It immediately came to my head what Steve Bannon said, and then the next thing I said was, who is paying this man? Who is paying this man? This is a game. We are one step away from losing our democracy in this country. LGBTQIA, there are laws being passed against their very existence. Women are losing their rights. And Dr. Cornell West is doing this shit. That's all I got, y'all. Black men would much rather side with the patriarchy for a tad bit of power over something. And in this climate, it's black women. They will side with white supremacy and the patriarchy instead of coming together with black women. This is why 12% of them voted. Was it 12%? I think it was 12%. This is why 12% of them voted for Donald Trump. And they will line up to vote for Dr. Cornell West. They're not trying to work with black women. They want to rule over black women. They don't like the fact that black women are viewed as a respected political power in this country. They don't like that because they view themselves above black women. They don't like the fact that black women are educated, is the biggest educated group in this country. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that black women are holding powerful positions in every industry across this country. They don't like the fact that black women are the majority of small business owners in our community. They don't like that black women have continued to elevate and grow, and they seem stagnant as a whole. They don't like that. And being that black women are the way that we are in this country, black women are choosing to divest from black men because we don't want to deal with liars. We don't want to deal with cheaters. We don't want to deal with the mental abuse. We don't want to deal with your insecurities. So all of this is the reason why you see these podcast boys. I believe these podcast boys are paid by somebody, the Koch brothers, Steve Bannon, the Heritage Foundation, whoever. I believe they are paid by them. They all popped up at the same time, right? All of these different black men with these podcasts, right? They all popped up at the same time. And they all popped up to trash and disrespect and denigrate black women. It was an attempt to invalidate black women. If you invalidate black women, bring them down a peg or two, then yeah. A lot of white women are in my comments listening to what I have to say. I am educating others. But if you invalidate the voice of the black woman, if you were to succeed in that, can you imagine how people would vote? Black women, just on TikTok alone, have educated people to how things really are. So I believe whoever's behind the dark money got these podcast boys, and let's invalidate the black woman. Let's encourage the black man. Let's incite this division between the black woman and the black man. The manosphere, the people like Kevin Samuels, the late Kevin Samuels, they all have purpose. And I believe they're all paid. They're all paid to continue this division between black women and black men. Because if we were to come together, we could get some shit done. But you see, black women are in a different position now. We don't need to, we ain't got to sit down and wait for you to decide you want to be with us, or you pay the bills, or decide whatever it is that you want to do right by us. We ain't got to do that no more. And then you just have a whole bunch of men that have some real serious issues that need therapy. Jimmy Bell says there's a lot of Twitter accounts and websites run by white guys. Oh, we figured it out here. I don't think I've ever talked about it, but yeah. Listen, when you do what I do, and if you're interactive down in your comments and you're paying attention to comments, you'll know, you can tell. You can tell the picture of the troll may be that of a black woman or a black man, but the words say white racist. Anybody that gets down in the comments and says, I'm a black woman, I'm a black man, and the picture is that of a black woman or a black man, that person is not a black woman or a black man. That is a white racist trolling as a black man or a black woman. We don't have to announce who we are as black people. You see who we are. So right away in saying, I'm a black woman, I'm a black man, you're telling us you're not. You're telling us you're not. And so we figured it out a while ago that this app is riddled with white racist trolls who are using blackface to troll black people. Exactly. Too Raw, Too Real says we know who's black and who ain't. I want y'all to see, Too Raw, Too Real, I'm going to play your video that you did on Dr. Cornell West. I want my people to see this, and then I'm going to duet it. If y'all not following Too Raw, Too Real, he's down in the chat. If y'all not following him, y'all need to be. Because black men love to attack. Black men in the political sphere love to attack Kamala Harris. He ain't letting it happen. Whatever nonsense they putting out there about Kamala Harris, he coming in with the facts. Let me find it. Let me go this way. Because he did a video on Dr. Cornell West.
Now that we're all friends, I just want to know, are y'all going to have the same energy?
Hold on. Let me rewind.
You know. Now that we're all friends, I just want to know, are y'all going to have the same energy for Cornell West that y'all have for Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown Jackson for being married to white men? Because this right here ain't no black woman. Okay, it's interesting enough that y'all want to call Ketanji Brown Jackson and Vice President Kamala Harris all types of bed wenches and how they done sold out and all this other stuff because they didn't marry a black motherfucking man, because apparently black women are black men's property, meaning that you guys have absolutely no bodily autonomy. That means you're supposed to sit as elf on the shelf until a black man's ready to pick your motherfucking ass up, because black men can do what the fuck they want to. They can fuck anybody, marry whoever the fuck they want to, sling that dick around to whoever fucking walks on by. But yeah, black women gotta sit like elf on the shelf waiting for a black man to never motherfucking come, because black men can come all into whoever the fuck they want to because they got a dick between their legs. My question is, are y'all gonna have the same energy, the same disdain for this man because he didn't marry a black woman? Now that we're all friends, I just want to know.
Follow him. And he comes with the facts. I've learned so much from him. So much from him. People like Killer Mike, Charlamagne the God, they love to trash Kamala. And they come up with these propagandist talking points. And if he sees it, he is going to combat each point they make with facts. I've learned so much from him. He stands for Kamala Harris. His name is Too Raw, Too Real. He's in the chat. Just scroll for his comment. Click on his picture and it'll take you to his page. Now listen. He ain't sugarcoating shit. Now if you sensitive, he ain't sugarcoating shit. He ain't doing it. He ain't sugarcoating nothing. There he is. He just made a comment. He says they just be lying all the time. Speaking of, I got Afropunk to take some time to take some of their lies on. Okay, so I guess you're doing a video. He just commented. So just click on his picture or his username and it'll take you to his page. Or probably a box will come up and ask you if you want to follow him. Listen, and he don't forget nothing. He got receipts galore to back him up, especially when he calling somebody out. When he called out Tariq Nasheed and posted that Tariq Nasheed was married to a white woman and posted pictures, I was like, what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Even posted pictures of the white mother-in-law. I was like, damn. His name is Too Raw, Too Real. And TikTok always messing with him because he ain't sugarcoating nothing. He's telling it like it is, and y'all be pissing him off. Them lies be pissing him off. Okay? Make sure you're following him. He's focused on the lies. He will make sure you're following him also on Instagram, because sometimes he get put in timeout. He get put in timeout. Oh yeah, he's on the clock out. He's on Twitter. I follow him everywhere because I want him. If I don't see it here, because he gets suppressed a lot. If I don't see it here, he always pops up as I'm scrolling over on Instagram when he does a video. Danielle says the state of the black man in the USA pitiful, the realization of how they really feel. And I think black men have an issue with black women because black women support LGBTQIA for the most part. We support our LGBTQIA brothers and sisters. Why? Because we understand there's an intersection between gay, lesbian, trans, and black people. There's black gays, there's black, trans, non-binary. We're not going to hate on our people. We're not going to hate on our people. And so these macho, misogynistic black men, they also don't like black women because of that. Nate says not all black women. Okay, I can give you that. There are some out there that I've seen them. I've seen them talking their shit. But for the most part, the majority of us, we support. We support. I don't have anything else to add to this conversation. Marginalized, Too Raw says, marginalized groups need to stick together because we all will either float together or sink separately. And that's what these people are doing. The Heritage Foundation, the Southern Baptists, the Koch brothers, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump. That's what they're doing. They're dividing all of us with their propaganda. It's easier to pick us off group by group. If we were to stand together, we would be too strong. They wouldn't be able to do it. We talked about the 7 mountains a while ago. Research the 7 mountains and how they are coming at us. The 7 mountains is the top tier of this gram, and then you got all of these little branches coming out from the 7 mountains, and which is their form of attack. Don't sleep on white women who cape for white patriarchy and supremacy. That girl Pearl, that's all over the place. Who's paying her? Who's paying her? She's part of the patriarchy. She's paid to do what it is that she does. Sow division. So yeah, the next time you see a clip of the podcast boys trashing black women, who's paying them? Who's paying them? When you see Dr. Cornell West at the debate, who's paying them? Who's paying them? Who's paying them? When you see Killer Mike and Charlamagne the God talking against the Democrats, Killer Mike, I believe, was an essential reason as to why black men turned against Stacey Abrams at the voting booth here in Georgia. He wasn't going around stomping for Brian Kemp, but he was going around stomping against Stacey Abrams. Remember I did the video and I showed y'all the picture? Killer Mike with Brian Kemp? Remember that? Brian Kemp is a white supremacist, a racist. He ain't trying to do nothing for black people. They hate Democrats so much that they will cozy up with Republicans. Remember the video I did showing y'all the picture of Tim Scott with T.I. and Charlamagne? Who's paying them? Who's paying them? What Tim Scott will publicly get on a platform and say that America is not a racist country. But Charlamagne is working with Tim Scott at one of his events. Tim Scott is the same one who blocked the George Floyd Policing Act. He worked with his racist senators to block the George Floyd Policing Act. Tim Scott, who has not done anything to try to get his fellow senators to understand the plight of black people in this country. But he will get up on The View and say he's not the exception as a black person and where he is. They love to bring up people like Tim Scott and President Obama and Oprah and LeBron James. Successful black people. As if America isn't racist. Look at these successful people. How many did I call out? 5? There are millions upon millions of black people in this country. They are the exception, not the norm. Clarence Thomas. Racists will always bring up those people. Michael Jordan, Oprah, LeBron James. Who was the other one I mentioned? The same ones. They'll bring them all up. The same ones. It's about 5 of them they'll bring up. As if to say, no. Anybody can be a multi-billionaire. Okay. Entertainers, people in the industry. The way I look at it, they were able to make it in spite of all of the suppressive laws and policies that you all put into place. In spite of. But no, they see it the other way. Remember when Tim Scott said America's not a racist country? He did that. He was the one that gave the rebuttal after the DNC. I forget what it was that they did. It was regarding the DNC. And he can't, you know, when they do that convention, and then after the convention, they have somebody from the opposite party to come out and do a rebuttal speech. That year, Tim Scott did it. And he said that's what he wanted to lead with. America is not a racist country. Nikki Haley loves to say America is not a racist country. But she won't even go by her real name, which is Nimrata. Nimrata Nikki Haley. And you know why she don't go by Nimrata? Because racist white people will see her name and say she's not American. So she goes by Nikki. State of the Union. Thank you so much. Thank you, State of the Union. But she will look, she said it in her campaign announcement. She said it the other night, America's not a racist country. Joe, she's Indian. Yes, she is. She's Indian who sides with white supremacy. And how many times have I told y'all? Other communities in the BIPOC community, black people don't want to be considered people of color. They want to be considered black or African American. They don't want to be a part of the people of color category. Why? Because the people of color category includes other races and cultures that practices racism and white supremacy against black people. So her being Indian, she's a person of color that practices racism and white supremacy against black people. I'm not a person of color. I'm black. I think I did a whole video on it, breaking it down, because it was a big discussion here on TikTok. BIPOC, black, indigenous, and people of color. And I spoke for my black people. We don't want to be a part of that. We want to completely separate ourselves. We are black people. I wasn't speaking for the indigenous community. I don't know how they feel about being included under the people of color umbrella. You hate the word black? Trey? That's how America sees you. Why can't we just be people? I'm not here to sugarcoat this for you. Ask white people why we can't. When you see the racist videos, racist white people videos on TikTok, get down in the comments and ask them that. Why are you asking a person that is part of the community that America has worked for hundreds of years to oppress and suppress? Why are you asking that from the black person? Ask that question. Get down in the comments of those racist white people and ask them. Ask them. There's plenty of them on here. There's plenty of them on here. Trey, embrace your blackness. What they want, when they ask that question, what they want is for black people to go back to being quiet, talking amongst ourselves about the racism that's happening in this country. They don't want it constantly in their face, black people calling out the racism and how different we are being treated. Why can't we all just get along? We're not going back to being quiet. You want us to all get along, all be treated fairly, get to work. That's all I can say. Get to work. You got work to do. And truth be told, I'm one of those black people. I would be just fine if, I think there's, how many of us, 13 million, 14 million of us in the United States? I would be just fine if we could find us a plot of land and all live together. But no Pookie and Ray Rays. Pookie and Ray Ray cannot come. I would be just fine if we all were living together away from everybody else. We wouldn't have to deal with the microaggressions. We wouldn't have to deal with the racism. We got our own issues in the community, but we also have our own way of handling things. All right, y'all. I've been on here for an hour and a half. I guess I need to get some work done. It's been real quiet at the office today. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it if we were all, you know, in our own space. But you know they wouldn't allow it. They won't allow it. Their whole mental makeup is to terrorize and harass black people. I mean, throughout history, we've tried to make our own. So we all understand now, Cornell West. I heard about the mother, Ajike. I even repost the videos. There are some stories that I won't touch because there are some stories that I can't stomach to watch, to get the details, to even talk about it. This is one of those stories. Markla says he's immediate no, but we are all clear. All of my people, we are clear on who Cornell West is and his history and why so many people, black people, are no. Specifically me. If you missed my whole history lesson on Dr. Cornell West and why so many black people are a no on Cornell West, this video I will download and I will put it up over on my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget that article, the article that was done by Michael Eric Dyson. I love him. I want him. Didn't he have a show on MSNBC? I want Michael Eric Dyson to have his own show. He is the voice that needs to be on television. There's an article in my link tree, a link to the article that will also give you more insight as to why majority of black people don't fool with Dr. West. And like I said, it has nothing to do with his intellect, with his experience. Many people respect his knowledge on black issues. But it started when Obama got into office, and he was on a decline from there. He just scorned lover. That's what it felt like. It was ugly. It was nasty. It was messy. And then when the two linked up, Cornell West and Tavis Smiley, it got worse. It got worse. It's bad when you got two prominent black men. Black people loved him, loved the two of them. Black people stood behind them and were okay with these two being representatives of black people. They understood the issues. They had ties to people in Congress where they could be the voice for black people. These two black men went on a racist network, Fox News, to do what they did: attack, denigrate, disrespect the President of the United States, a black man. That's how much hate you have for this man. You would link up with the oppressor. You would link up with the oppressor. And during that whole situation, Michael Eric Dyson was the voice of reason. A lot of people turned to Michael because Michael Eric Dyson talked about the issues. He was critical of Obama. He was. Okay, listen, I could be on here for a whole nother hour talking about this, but I'll download this and it'll be up over on my YouTube channel. All right, y'all have a fantastic day. Thank you all for the gifts. Thank you all for hanging out with me, being a part of the conversation. I'll see y'all later. Bye. I don't never know what a button is. Where's the button? Oh, I got to do this. Wait. There we go. Okay.